when it comes to building a soccer program into a national powerhouse, University of Louisville head coach Ken Lolla has emerged as a top leader in the field. Coach Lolla most recently guided the University of Louisville to the 2010 NCAA College Cup Final, the Big East Championship, and a #1 national ranking. Ken was named the 2010 National Coach of the Year, and his staff was named the Big East Coaching Staff of the Year. Just 5 seasons earlier, Coach Lolla inherited a U of L program with a 5-11-2 record that had never even been to the NCAA tournament. Coach Lolla had much of the same success in his 13 seasons at Akron, where he guided the Zips to a #1 national ranking, won 8 MAC championships, and made 5 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Coach Lolla is the all-time winningest coach in Akron's history. Coach Lolla has served as the under-15 national team coach and as an assistant coach for his alma mater, Duke University. Coach Lolla has coached over 20 players to go on and play professionally in domestic and international leagues. As a player at Duke University, Ken was the team captain for the men's soccer team and, among other things, a 2-time All-American. Coach Lolla went on to play professionally for 4 different teams, spending most of his professional career with the Canton Invaders, where he met his wife, Tina, who's here with us today. Ken holds a bachelor's degree in biology from Duke University, and he and his wife, Tina, have 3 children. What is Coach Lolla's recipe for success? Ken Lolla's success is based on the timeless principles and character-based leadership skills that he represents in his daily life. Passing on these principles of success through soccer to inspire change, motivate growth, and encourage personal development in the lives of others has been the trademark of Coach Lolla's career for over 25 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the University of Louisville men's soccer team, Ken Lolla.
Thank you. My mom wrote that. I don't know if you knew this, but Wayne also has a son that plays soccer, and one of the reasons why he introduced, I think, me today was our sons play together on a club team at Mockingbird. I've been very blessed to have played and coached at a high level, but parenting is way different. Recently, at one of the games, I'm always interested to hear as a parent what coaches are saying. And I walked over during the game, and the coach pulled one of the kids aside. And I kind of snuck up behind, and I just wanted to hear what the coach was saying to the players. And he pulled him aside, and he said, "Now, son, you know the rules that we talked about at the beginning of the year." And the little kid looked up, and big eyes real big, and he said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, you know then that if other players on a team make a mistake, you don't yell at them and criticize them. Is that right?" And he said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Likewise," he said, "if the referee makes a bad call, you don't curse at the referee and you don't criticize him for what he's doing. Is that right?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And then he said, "Furthermore," he says, "when the coach takes you out of the game, you don't badmouth the coach because somebody else is going into the game for you." He says, "Do you understand that?" He says, "Yes, sir." He says, "Good, now go over there and tell your mother that." That was not my child. Or Wayne's. I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for inviting me here today. And I, quite honestly, coming here today, did not understand the level of speakers that you have here. What an honor it is to be here before you today. It is an honor, and I do appreciate the invitation. I also appreciate introducing the 2 people that came with me today, and one is David Horn. David Horn is our director of ops, and our recruiting window never ends. We're constantly recruiting, unlike football and basketball where they have windows of recruiting. For us, we're recruiting all the time, looking for the best players. David Horn joining our staff is one of the best recruiting jobs we've ever done. He's been tremendous for our staff and continues to heighten what we do. He's very involved in the community. We're so fortunate to have him. And Tina, my wife, and I say this every opportunity I can in public, she is my greatest lesson. that what I do in life and what I do as a coach, in a large part, has everything to do with who she is and the type of wife and mother she is. And she allows me to do what I am very passionate about. So she continues to be my greatest blessing, and I'm so fortunate for that. We've had a pretty good run the last 6 years. 6 years ago, I actually got a call from Julie Herman, and she said, look, we have a team that's 5, 11, and 3. You're coaching the #1 team in the country. Why don't you come down here to Louisville? I said, sure. But quite honestly, what drew me here were the people. It had everything to do with the people that are associated with the athletic department at the University of Louisville, being Tom Jurich, #1. It continues to amaze me what Tom has done with the athletic department, not just over his history, but in the last 6 years while I've been here. And you know, we see a lot of the things that Tom has built, the facilities, they're second to none in the country, but more importantly, the type of people that he continues to surround himself with. And what I know is that's a direct reflection of who he is as a person. But people like Julie Herman and the staff and the number of coaches that they have are a big reason why we decided to come here. And because of that, over the last 6 years, we have seen the program grow tremendously. And it's because of people like David Horn and the staff that we've had that our program has continued to grow and flourish. And we've been asked the question over and over again is, how? In 6 years, do you take a team from 5, 11, and 3 in a poor culture and end up playing in a national final? And there are some things that we've learned over our coaching career and our lives that we knew coming here through the University of Louisville that were very, very important. And first and foremost, more than anything else, was to start with, we had to create a vision. We had to create a destiny for ourselves, some idea of where we wanted to go. What I understand as a person in my life, as well as a person in athletics, if we want to move from where we are right now, we have to have some idea of where we want to go. The analogy we talk about with our players is like jumping in a boat in a really active river. And you jump in a boat, you push away from the shore, and you realize you get in a boat that it has no oars or rudders or paddles. And now your journey is completely at the mercy of the river. And there aren't too many people that would risk that in their lives. And yet there's so many times that people will actually plan more time planning their vacation than they will the destination of their lives. So for us, what we understand is when we jump in that boat, we need to have a rudder. We need to have a direction. We need to understand where we're going. And that was clearly the first thing we did. In the very first meeting we had, we talked at that point about winning national championships. And there was a group of young men in the room that day that looked at us like we were a little bit crazy. But it was important that we set that goal, we set that direction. What I know is that our mind has the ability to do two things. It has the ability to remember, which is hugely powerful because it's so important that when we make decisions, that we get to reflect back on them. Were they positive, negative? Should we do them again? Should we not? In a game of soccer, that's critical. But in a game of life, it's vital. Secondly, though, the most important part of our brain is the ability to imagine. That ability to create our destiny, our future, before we ever get there. And we do that at the beginning of every single season. We make sure that when we sit down before the season ever starts, that we have a clear idea of what that path looks like and where we're going and what the direction is. And then we plan out what it needs to look like and how we're going to get there. The beauty of that is when we sit down, we sat down this year, we talked about winning a national championship this year, what it was going to look like. And what we knew is this, is at the beginning of the year when we did that, we were not capable of winning a national championship at that point. But what we knew was this, if we set that goal for us to get there, for us to lift a trophy, we were going to have to change, we were going to have to grow, we were going to have to become somebody different. Last year, in our journey to the national final, we knew at the beginning of the season we weren't capable of it at that point.